students. Dr. M. Velavan, Faculty, School of Management, Shastra University. In connection with the previous session, now we are going to discuss about supply, a taxable event under GST. This is the important part of the GST because we are going to charge GST on supply of goods or services or both. So before calculate value of supply and discuss about time of supply, place of supply, we have to know what is supply. We have to understand what is supply in depth. But here we are going to discuss about the concept of supply. Section 7 of CGST Act. Also we are discussing about the CGST. Other components like NGST and ITGST or UTGST are included in CGST, Central Goods Sales Tax. So as per the section 7 of CGST Act 2017, funds are the following sections and schedules shall be discussed in this chapter to understand the concept of supply, because we have to know to understand about the concept. What is supply? What are the situations of different supply of goods or services or both will be treated as a supply. So everything we have to discuss. So here we need to discuss section 7. What is supply, what are its components, what are its features, when a particular supply will be the taxable one, what is the taxable event of the supply, everything will be discussed. This is what section 7. Section 8 is meant for taxability of composite and mixed supplies. Composite supply and mixed supply. So here what is meant by composite supply, mixed supply? Already we discussed the same little bit in in definitions. I think unit 1 we have touched what is composite supply, what is mixed supply, how the composite supply is taxable, what rate is applicable, how the mixed supply is taxable, what rate is applicable. So everything we discussed. Okay. Then very important is schedule 1. Here, dear students, we have to cover 3 important schedules. One is schedule 1. Activities to be treated as supply even if made without consideration. See, once we have supply, once we supply goods to our customer, or once we provide service to our customer, or we do both, consideration is very, very important. Whenever you give free of cost, this is not a supply. But even this taxability supply, you are responsible for that value, because you have not collected anything from them. It is your mistake. Suppose you supply goods on free of cost, if they are taxable, you are responsible. But when you supply exempted goods, you need not pay tax and you need not collect a tax. But when you supply taxable goods without any consideration, so this is your mistake. You have to pay tax. So here, in some cases, some activities to be treated as supply, even if made without consideration. In some cases, the supply will be treated as a taxable supply without consideration, because consideration is one of the core elements of to find out the elements to find out the supply, taxable supply. But here, even the supply is made without consideration, it is also treated as a supply, taxable supply. So what are all the situations? They are some supplies or some services will treat as a taxable supply without consideration. Okay. Then Schedule 3. Activities or transaction to be treated as supply of goods or as supply of services. You see, activities or transaction to be treated as supply of goods or supply of activities. Here, supply of services. Here, sometimes we are not able to find out, sir, this is what, whether it is value of supply of goods or value of supply of services. So we have a confusion. We can't find out the actual nature, either supply of goods or supply of services. Don't worry. They said you need not worry about that. We give. They are supply of goods. They are supply of services. Don't worry. We give the list. We give the list. You will not make any confusion. Okay. Suppose you supply goods. We said this supply of goods. So what we say like that, you have to follow. You have to follow. So what are the list or supply of goods? What are the transactions or supply of services? They give the list. We follow. Whenever we do the business based on their classification, we can adopt either supply of goods, adopt with either supply of goods or supply of services. So they give one list. Okay, very simple. They will give only list. We have to abide the list for computing taxability of goods or services. Then Schedule 3 is activities or transaction which shall be treated neither as a supply of goods or supply of services. Some activities shall be carried out, can be carried out, but they will not be treated as either value of supply of goods or supply of services. What are the transactions? Take for example, whatever the services do by the government, it is not either supply of goods or supply of services, but it is given by the government. So like that we are going to discuss. They have a list. What are the transactions shall be treated neither at supply of goods or supply of services. Okay. So here you have to keep it in mind. Here section 7 need to be discussed. Section 8 and Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3. These are all the sections and schedules. I mean 2 sections and 3 schedules will be discussed in detail to know the meaning, to understand the meaning of supply. Okay, good. Scope of supply, section 7. Taxable event, that is very, very important. Before, you have to know, supply should be taxable person, should be taxable supply. The supply should be taxable person, should be made by a taxable person. So whoever the persons are supplied goods to our customers, they have to be a taxable person. Then obviously they have to register their business. When they register their business, automatically they become as a taxable persons. And also they have to supply only taxable goods. When they supply taxable goods, now this supply will be a taxable supply. Very simple. Very simple. Okay. First one is they have to be a taxable person. They means the traders, the supplier. Suppliers have to be a registered person. Once they are registered, they will become a what? Taxable person. At the same time, they have to be transferred or sell goods only in taxable. Okay, Then taxable person. A person who is registered or liable to be registered, they are taxable persons. Already I told you. Taxable person means a registered person. Registered. They have to register their business as per section 22. We discussed earlier. 22. Okay. Taxable supply. Supply of goods or services both which is leviable to tax. When they supply exempted goods or zero rated goods, here we won't consider as a supply. Okay, this is what very important. So as per this section 7, the supply should be a taxable event. The event means the moment when it is taxable. The moment when it is taxable, this is called event. When it is taxable, we'll discuss one by one. Okay. Then taxable person. So when the goods is transferred or supplied by a taxable person. When they supply taxable supply, okay, taxable supply. So ultimately it is what? Taxable supply. Okay. Then you see here, you have to understand what supply. What is going to be supply? The term supply includes such as sales, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease or disposal. All are treated as supply. How, sir? How disposal is treated as supply? Will come later. So the term supply includes are such as sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease or disposal. And what they have to supply? They have to supply goods or services or both. When made or agreed to be made, at the time of supply, or I will be supplied the goods after 4 months. Made or agreed to be made. For what? Consideration. For what? Consideration. Consideration is the value of the supply. Reward of the supply. Hope you understand what is supply we discussed in Unit 1 definitions. Consideration is nothing but all taxable values of supplies, except subsidy given by the government, any GST paid, includes subsidy given by the private parties. It is called consideration. Then, in the course or furtherance of the business, in the course, I am doing business now, or furtherance of the business, I am going to business in future. In the course or furtherance of course. So when a supply fulfill all 1, 2, 3, 4, all, now it is treated as a supply. So once again I will repeat you, my dear student. Supply includes are such as sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental and lease or disposal. So what is sale? What is transfer? What is barter? What is exchange? What is license? What is rental? What is lease? What is disposal? We'll discuss one by one. Okay. And what goods or services are both? When made or agreed to be made. When they supply and when they are going to be supplied. For what they supply? For what? What is the reward they are going to receive? What is the consideration? Then purpose, in the course or furtherance of the business. So when a supply fulfill all the 4, now it is taxable supply. Suppose you import the services. Import the services. Consideration should be must. Purpose is not necessary. Either it may be a course of business or furtherance of business. You need not worry about it. Schedule 1, no consideration. But they are transfer, sale, barter, but without consideration. Without consideration. They also treated as a supply. Schedule 3, treated as supply of goods or services. Schedule 2. Schedule 3 is exempted supplies. I mean, limit negative list. They are not supply, that's all. Then not supply. Activities by central government, state government, legislative authority as a public authority. They give. They provide some services. Like for example, electricity, transport, school, colleges, insurance. Notify. Supply is not supply for services or wide and vice versa. This is notification given. This is very, very important. These are the points we are going to consider, and we'll discuss one by one. Particularly Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3 is negative list. Negative list means not supply. They are not coming under the purview of taxable supply. So we have to discuss one by one. Okay. You see, what is sale? Because supply includes sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease or disposal. Okay. So now we have to discuss one by one what is sale. Sale is nothing but the transfer of ownership of and title of the property from one person to another person for a price. This is very, very important. We sell goods. When we sell goods, the ownership is transferred from us to them. The person who is purchasing from us. Once they come and buy a car from us, after the settlement, they are treated as a owner of the car. When we transfer ownership and the title of the property, when we transfer ownership and the title of the property, ownership, that is very, very important, and title of the property, for a price, they have to give something. They have to give something. This is what consideration. This consideration is the value of supply. This consideration is the value of supply. This is what sale. Sale is nothing but transfer of ownership or title of the property one person to another person for a price, a cost. For a price. Transfer. What is transfer? Transfer from factory to department for sale. Transfer means transfer goods from one place to another place for sale. This is transfer. You have a factory in Chennai, Sengalpattu, but your sale place in Chennai. Now you are transfer goods from Sengalpattu depot to Chennai. This is called transfer. Here no effect because you are all doing the same business in the same city, intra. But you see, you have a go down in Chennai, but you have a business place in Bangalore. Here in both the places you have to pay tax. Because you are using the water, EV and all facility in Tamil Nadu. You avail all benefit in Tamil Nadu. You produce a product. Then you go to sell. Where you produce? Tamil Nadu. You have availed all the benefit for production here, but are you going to pay tax only in Bangalore? How the Tamil Nadu government is accept? They said, Mr. Raman, you produce the goods here, so you have to pay tax here, and then you go wherever and you pay tax wherever. This is not our problem. So, when we transfer goods from one place to another place, this is for what? Transfer. So, transfer is also sale with consideration. For all, we have a consideration. Sale is for consideration. Transfer is for consideration. Barter is for consideration. Exchange is for consideration. License is for consideration. Lease is for consideration. Disposal is also consideration. Barter. What is barter? Exchange of goods. Exchange of goods. Exchange of two goods. In olden days, I have done the same in my village. Because in my house, we have always ragi food only. My mother told me that there is no rice in my house, so you have to eat only ragi for all the 3 times, many days. Myself, my brother, sisters, we cried a lot in front of mother. Mummy, we need rice, mummy. One neighbor is living near my house. They are very rich. They used always rice, but they have never used ragi and all. But they need ragi, but we need rice. But simply we did one thing. Whenever I am going to eat, I take enough quantity of ragi and gave them. They returned me 1 bowl of rice. So here we give ragi food, they give what? We gave ragi food, they gave what? Rice. This is all exchange. Exchange. Sorry, this is barter. Barter. Here I have given one example. Doctor provides medical consultancy to a barber. In return, barber gets doctor's care. Doctors said, Mr. Raman, I'll give a treatment, but you give cutting. You have to cut my hair, you need not pay any fees for my treatment. Even though he has not given money, he has rendered service to him. Doctor provides medical consultancy to barber. In return, barber gets doctor's care. This is what barter. When we give one product, we get equal product from them. We get a product with equal value from them. This is barter. Exchange. You know, my dear students, all cell phone companies and agencies, they are offering exchange. They give exchange offer. I bought this mobile phone when it was introduced. I think it's a MI Note 4. Now they introduced a MI 12, 13, 15 and I think. Now I decide to exchange this phone. I'm going to hand it over to them and will get the updated mobile phone from them. In addition, I will give some amount because this cost will be 4,000. I'm going to get 15,000 worth mobile phone from them. I have to pay some extra money. So this is called what? Exchange. Then license. Permission by competent authority, which should be lawful to engage in a business or occupation. Permission given by competent authority. Suppose you are going to start one petrol bunk nearby your city. You have to get the permission from ONGC, Indian Oil Corporation, and Ministry of Petroleum and Aviation. Then only you will start. The license is the permission given by the government to start the business, to run the business by you. Here you have to follow certain norms and regulations. You have to abide the rules and regulations, and you have to pay the registration fee and all to them. Okay, this is what license. The permission by competent authority, lawful to engage in a business or operation. Lease. Legal requirement for use of land, building, vehicle. I am living in a lease house since 2004. The owner is working in NLC, Neyveli. He has one house in Trichy. I am living in Trichy. I am occupying his house since 2004. I am not the owner. I am not the owner. But I am occupying his house. Occupying his house. But I have legal documents. I paid some amount to him. Whenever he will come and ask me to hand over my house, Mr. Velavan, honestly I will vacate the house from him, from his house. Honestly I have to hand over. I will hand over the house happily because I am enjoying this house since 2004. This is also value of supply. So lease agreement for use of land, building, vehicle. Suppose you decide to start a business in Chennai. There is a building there. You decide to take the entire building for your business as a lease for 5 years, 10 years or 20 years. For that you give 1 crore rupee to the owner. So this is one type of investment. Once you give money, you can occupy this property for 20-25 years. You may concentrate your business except the land because you have taken this land as a lease. Once you got this property as a lease, they won't disturb you further. In between the agreement period, because you have clearly mentioned how many years you are going to use that property. 10 years or 15 years, they have to wait up to 10 years, 5 years or 15 years. The middle of the year, no one can break your agreement or lease. So this is what lease, my dear students. Disposal. Disposal means sale or discard. One incident was happened last month Means one person availed loan from the private finance and he bought one auto. In 2 years back it was happened. But all of you know, the corona came in the year 2020, first of the 2020. But all business are suffered a lot, including day-to-day affairs also suffered. The person who bought auto on lease is not able to repay the installment properly. But at that time, government gives some concessions, moratoriums they announced, RBI. But even though the private companies are not allowed for moratorium, they ask them to pay, even if they don't have a business. He got angry, he go directly to the insurance office, he parked the auto in front of the gate and immediately take 1 liter, 2 liter petrol and spread the auto and firing the auto. He has discarded but it is taxable. Whose mistake? Who knows the corona came? This is not our mistake, but it is a responsibility we have to pay. So when you discard the goods, it is also supply, because at the time of buying you avail ITC also. Once you avail ITC, you discard, who is responsible? ITC means the tax on purchase. Government return the tax paid by you, because you are going to use the property for business purpose and paid more tax to the government. That's why the government allow you to claim ITC. But you have claimed ITC, but you are not continuing the business, but you discarded. How the government will allow you to avail government money without any return? What I am saying, could you understand? This is called what? Disposal. So disposal is also what? Supply, my dear students. So supply includes or such as sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, lease or disposal. All are treated as supply. All are treated as supply. Okay, good. Hope you understand. Okay. Next. What is goods and services? This is very, 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 very important. Because you know, we use many times supply of goods, supply of services. What is goods? What is service? As per section 252, goods includes every kind of movable property, every kind of movable property, all movable property. It may be a